What up? It's your man, the old man Winter, back once again with another episode of No Holds Barred. Today's topic, I'm here to talk about a young set of Pookie and Ray Rays out here that got out here and then did some really stupid, foolish things. You know, these two young guys, they ended up getting into it with each other. They brothers. They end up getting into it with each other over some of the dumbest thing you can ever think of over frivolous, superficial Christmas presents. See, when Pookie and Ray Ray, they don't got no home training, no discipline, these are the results. So these little young clowns end up getting into it with each other. Brothers, mind you, because I think the older brother said that the younger brother got more Christmas presents than the older brother got. Now they 15 and 14 years old. They should be honestly too old to be bickering over something this petty and minor. And if they run around here like we'll see in a minute, toting guns, they definitely too old to be running around here worrying about a goddamn Christmas present. But Pookie and Ray Ray strikes again, and it ends as usual when you're dealing with Pookie and Ray Ray with some very tragic results. So I'm about to play the snooze article, and you all can hear what actually happened. The results of the madness of the Pookie and Ray Rays of the world.
23-year-old mother of two is dead after being shot by her own brother on Christmas Eve. Abrielle Baldwin was trying to break up an argument between her siblings when one of them pulled out a gun. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank reports on what has the sheriff furious and the changes he is now calling for.
Photos Abrielle Baldwin posted to social media show her filled with joy.
She's just a woman going about life, doing her thing with her two kids, trying to make a living, trying to make it.
On Christmas Eve.
And another part of this that's the messed up part about this whole thing is the way this just reflects on the black community. Even though we aren't a monolith, we all don't do the same thing. We all are different individuals. In a system of white supremacy, we all seen as one big nigga because that's convenient to group us all together to demonize us all. When you have the Pookie and Ray Rays of the world, which you have Pookie and Ray Rays in all different aspects of society as far as the white community, the Asian community, or whatever. But the only ones that get magnified and the whole community gets viewed upon in a certain light is the black community when our Pookie and Ray Rays get out here and act a fool and do a bunch of dumb, stupid bull crap out here in these streets. So this is Pookie and Ray Ray out here got these white folks, sitting up here acting like they better than us and all this other stuff, like they looking down on us, like it's just a shame for the entire community. When it's these few individual clowns out here that refuse to abide by the laws and rules of this society that we in, you know what I'm saying? So I'll let the video continue, but I just wanted to add that to it. And fair use is in full effect for this news report. Let's continue.
While at her grandmother's home on 22nd Avenue in Largo, she'd had enough of her brothers bickering. DeMarcus and Darcus began pulling guns on one another.
Abrielle told DeMarcus, quote, "You all need to leave that stuff alone. Why are you trying to start it? It's Christmas."
They both had been fighting over Christmas presents, with the 15-year-old Darcus jealous that their mom had spent more on gifts for 14-year-old DeMarcus. After Abrielle stepped in, DeMarcus pulled a gun and
just petty and stupid. This is just a senseless act of violence. Something so petty and stupid and dumb. Now, none of you all are going to enjoy no Christmas present. Who gives a damn about Christmas presents to begin with? But if that's what it was about, going out and shooting each other and shooting your sister and doing all this mad, stupid stuff, nobody is going to be able to partake in Christmas. You just ruined Christmas probably for the rest of your family's lives. You know what I'm saying? From your mother, your sister is gone now because of your dumb actions. Her children, as they get into This is just crazy and senseless. Why? What was the point? What was the purpose? Everybody loses, and then this is an internal family strife. So y'all losing on y'all selves. It's not even like you hurting the outsiders. You hurting your own family. But sometimes, the worst betrayals and the worst attacks come from family. But let us continue.
Fired, killing her and sending her son and his nephew, an 11-month-old, falling to the ground. Then Darkus pulled his own
Sad.
gun and shot DeMarcus, leaving him badly injured.
This proliferation of guns on the streets and guns in this area and guns in the hands of these kids.
And honestly, I can't blame the other brother for shooting the brother after he shot their damn sister with her kids in her arm. He deserved to get shot. He deserved to die for that. But the whole point and thought of this thing is, why the heck is two teenage children running around here both strapped up and willing to pull guns on each other at that, on top of being strapped up? They don't got no business having guns or weapons on them to begin with, even to get to this point of all this stupid stuff that didn't happen in this case. And now we got this judgmental white man that this sheriff, you know what I'm saying? Now this gives him the opportunity to try to act like this is a whole communal problem when you dealing with two, like I said before, Pookie and Ray Rays out here that's ignorant and making everybody else look bad.
The worst I've ever seen it. I don't think we've ever seen it this bad.
The sheriff says the area around 22nd Avenue in Largo has been subject to extra patrols lately, with 13 gun-related incidents since September. He says his office has gotten reports of 17 guns stolen from unlocked cars. He suspects the guns used in this shooting were obtained that way.
And people can't leave.
And this is the stuff that they use as a justification to treat us all like animals. This barbaric behavior by some of the few idiots in our society gives the white supremacist society as a whole carte blanche to treat the rest of us like we're gutter trash like the rest of these punks. And we're not. You have few and far between punks out here in these streets, and they do need to be put up under the jail if this is how they're going to behave, or something they need to be dealt with in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But this isn't a reflection on the entire black community. This is just these few dregs of society that's dragging the rest of us down. But again, to the system of white supremacy, to the code of white supremacy, we all just one big Negro at the end of the day. And it's all of us. If one or two of us do something crazy and out the ordinary, you got young punks out here toting pistols for no good reason. We all get lumped into there, and it's just a problem with the whole black community at that point in time. And that narrative isn't correct, but that's just the way this goes when you're dealing with the cult of white supremacy.
Their car doors unlocked and leave their guns in their cars. It's got to stop.
Further, the sheriff says both juveniles have been let off the hook too easily by the juvenile justice system, particularly DeMarcus, who has a history of violence against school staff and law enforcement. The sheriff is calling for tougher laws.
They are not getting the consequences that they should get that keep them from doing it again and again and again.
Abrielle.
Now, that's something I honestly do agree with. If these guys have been pinpointed of being problem kids and have been called up several different times in several different incidents, yeah, throw the book at their ass. I'm not one of these guys that's going to advocate for, just because they are still a child, that they shouldn't have to pay for their crimes. No, if you out here becoming a young minister societies become old minister societies. It's very rare that a young punk that's just a terror just change his life around to become an upstanding citizen without, like Charleston White talk about all the time, without that long stretch of jail time in between once they done messed up, and then they go and actually get rehabilitated in jail, which is supposed to be what jail is for. He does have a point on some of that stuff. If you are young, ignorant, punk that's out here, you know what I'm saying, robbing, stealing, killing, and being a complete terror, yeah, the best place for you is to be under the jail. Not because they are under 18 years old. They should get slaps on the wrist and treated like boys will be boys. No. But that's part of the system too. You know, they want to keep the worst black the worst offenders in the black community out here in the black community terrorizing so they can have an object to point at and say, look at those black people, look how they get out. You know what I'm saying? They don't do nothing but kill each other, they don't do nothing but commit crime, they don't do that. They keep these criminals on the streets and don't take them seriously because they know these most of them don't do nothing but just do harm to other black people. So why do they care? It's just like the thing with the scam thing that you got all these YouTubers expose all the scammers or whatever. In the black community, they exposing the Jay Morrisons and a couple of other people. You know, it's a new person every week. But the whole thing is, none of these people never get caught up, and it'll be evidence from here to wazoo showing that these people have committed complete fraud. You know, from a criminal aspect, concrete evidence. Law enforcement takes no action against these people because their victims are other black people, and that's in their mind they don't care. In their mind, they're looking at it like, well, those Negroes get exactly what they deserve. You know, so they'll let these scammers get out here and finesse the whole community and rob and steal for hundreds of millions of dollars of this, that, and the third. And then they might eventually, come and get them. You know what I'm saying? If it gets out of hand or something like that. But they gonna make sure that the damage is done, and it's gonna be no recovery for all the victims of all these scams before they decide to come and do something about it. That's the way they perpetuate the white supremacist narrative that black people are inherently bad and inherently criminal and this, that, and the third. Or you force us to take the law into our own hands because they refuse to actually do something about the criminals. Now, what about black on black crime? Now, what about the black citizens defending and protecting themselves from the hooligans? And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, once you retaliate against the hooligans, you become a black on black crime statistic, and it doesn't matter the context of the circumstances that led to the action of someone having to retaliate against one of these Pookie and Ray Rays out here. There's a big difference between citizens and the dregs of society. Citizens and the Pookie and Ray Rays of the world.
Was only 23, and now her kids, an 11-month-old and a 6-year-old, will have to grow up without her. Evan Axelbank, Fox 13 News.
DeMarcus has been charged with first-degree murder for shooting his sister. He's in the hospital and expected to recover. Darkis is charged with attempted first-degree murder and is in a mental health treatment facility.
And I believe the one that's, even though they just throw the book at everybody, this is what they do. But I think it's a strong, even though he should get charged with illegal weapons possession, it's a strong argument for the one that shot the brother that killed the sister, for him to probably, well, I don't know if that's Florida, they're going to slam him. They don't care what the circumstances is. But in a normal scenario, that's pretty much self-defense. You know, this man, you just witnessed this man murder somebody with their children in their hands. They still got a gun. And his intent was to murder you. What are you supposed to do? Just wait till he kill you? I mean, kill you too after you just witnessed him murder somebody else? You'd be a damn fool after you just witnessed this man murder somebody, which you have if you were a legal gun owner. But it still should apply. He should only have to face the illegal weapons possession charge. But you have a legal right to defend yourself and others from criminal action and activity. And if you got a gun wielding maniac that just killed your sister, you had no matter your brother, no matter what the circumstance or whatever led to it, you have a legal right to defend those children that were still in her arms while she was dying and dead, and that hit the ground when he killed her, and defend yourself from this maniac that's wielding the gun that just shot your sister in front of your face. So yeah, I don't believe that part will stick with the guy that shot the brother that killed the sister. But again, neither one of them should have had no guns. They shouldn't have never been. This matter shouldn't have never got this serious. And at the end of the day, people be saying like, "Oh, well, why are these 15 and 14-year-olds gun wielding? Where's the mom at? Or who? You know what I'm saying? Who's their custodians? Because at the end of the day, they need to be watching these people. If not, then they need to be in a place where they could be monitored or something. You know what I'm saying? So more than likely, shoot, these people's mother or whoever is their legal guardian or whatever's going on with them, they probably should get charged too, honestly. Because the only way you're gonna, get this stuff in line, it starts at home with home training and discipline. You know what I'm saying? These kids, first off, they run around here with guns. They don't deserve no Christmas presents. So as far as I'm concerned, you rewarding just looking at everything surrounding the matter. You rewarding two knuckleheads with Christmas presents that's around here gun toting and some of the worst dregs in society ever. Because more than likely, if they pulling a gun and turn it on their own family, they'd probably use it on so many other people out here. It's nobody left other than just shoot your own family. So, like I say, this is just a tragic and sad event that took place right here. We dealing with two young punks, that don't have any guidance or direction, no home training, no discipline. They obviously have been raised horribly. Like I say, come think, I'm blaming who's ever raising these. I'm blaming the mother or who's ever the custodian or whatever. But they were whining and crying about their mother who bought the most gifts from the mother. So the mother should go to jail with them, honestly, because you're rewarding two pieces of trash that's out here carrying guns that young, and they don't have a legal right to own or carry guns. And they're that irresponsible that they killed their own sister, which is probably this lady's daughter too. So your daughter died while you rewarding two ungrateful children that obviously didn't deserve any gifts at all to begin with. Instead of getting out here and putting your foot in their butts and disciplining them, you out here rewarding these two hoodlums with gifts to the point that they fighting over who got the most, and then want to up guns and shoot each other because one feel like they got more than the other. It's stupid and ridiculous, and it's the results of lack of home training and discipline, and these children not being raised properly. And it's consequences for actions. It's consequences for not raising children the right way. It's consequences for you letting your children run wild, rough, and ragged all over these streets. And now the chickens came home to roost for this woman and her family for the way she raised these boys. But it was all good when they was out here gun toting and running around terrorizing everybody else and the other people in the neighborhood. But now guess what? Now your daughter is dead because y'all let these little young punks run around here and be complete menaces to society. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, the mother should be brought up on charges. Horrible parenting. You're the reason your daughter is dead now because you have failed to properly raise these boys. And again, from the news report, they stayed in trouble to begin with. They shouldn't have been getting rewarded with Christmas presents to begin with. If you weren't foolishly buying them Christmas presents, despite the fact that they were horrible children, then they wouldn't have had nothing to fight over, and your daughter would still be alive right now. If you would have raised them correctly from birth, then they wouldn't be gun-toting animals out here just shooting and doing whatever they want to begin with. They would have been fine young men and upstanding members of society, maybe out here playing some type of sports or doing something constructive with their lives. So, yeah, this goes on the mother and probably the absentee father and whoever else call themselves having a hand in creating these two monsters. But that's my 2 cents. It's your man, Old Man Winter, and we out of here. Peace.